Members only. Crystal Ball. So yes, I was slightly delayed. I greatly apologise for that. But we are here and we don't rarely have a time constraint. So that's good. So let's just see. I don't see chat. If there is chat yet. I don't see it. But we'll just give it a moment for people to come in. Oh, I'm very, very warm. It's very, very warm here. Okay. Oh, Sid, hello. So I believe Sid is the first message. If you did message before I started to stream, then I apologise for that. We usually have a few messages before we come in. So if anything has happened with previous messages, I greatly apologise, but please do comment them again. I've got to ask the questions again. You're very welcome to do so. So we have Sid, and it says, how are you? I'm very well. I hope you are well. And also, will my Royal Mail parcel arrive tomorrow or Friday? Okay, let's see. I'm guessing tomorrow, so best of luck with you for that, because I'm guessing tomorrow for that. Jan, hello and welcome. It's been a long time, so hello and welcome to Jan. And Jasmine as well. Hello and welcome to Jasmine. Very lovely to see you guys. Hope you are well. You can go ahead with the questions, of course. I will go over the cards. So we have Spirit Animal, Chakra, Spellcasting, Druid Wisdom, Sufi Wisdom, Love, Earth Magic, and we do have the Seraph Soul Angels as well. If anyone wants an angel, you're very welcome to that. But yeah, you can just ask questions if you like. If you want a specific card, I will see if it's within reach. I have some here with me, but there was quite a selection left from last time, so we just did a little shuffle and cleanse of those, and we should be good. So Jan says, when will Caden message me and what will he say? Okay. So in terms of what will we say, I'm still really getting this casual outreach, very kind of casual, like, almost as though nothing's happened, I mean, I do feel like I could say, like, oh, it's been a long time, how have you been, but I don't feel like so much will be addressed in that respect of, it's been a long time. But in terms of what we're looking at when as well, when. I feel like the soonest is like 3 weeks to a month, so I do apologise about that. Apologise when I have to give the answers that we don't really want, but that's what's coming through at the moment. Jasmine says, this morning I had a dream about 2 companies, Greater Dayton Premier Management and GMHA. Was this my guide showing me these are 2 places they want me to apply for housing? Okay. Yes, I'm guessing a yes on that. Sid says, where is my directional guardian and what are they doing? So actually guessing that they're quite close by and they're actually on their way to you. So they are on their way to you. So I don't think that will be too long. You'll maybe say a few days maximum. Jan says, when will I feel better about things with Caden, as in feeling like they're back on the path again? This is looking more like it's moving towards the end of the year. I personally feel like that's shifted a bit further. I know I'm not reading for you as regularly now, so you can correct me if that's wrong, but I think that's shifted a little bit further, unfortunately. Jasmine says, my plan is to get letters from my public defender explaining my situation and take it with me when I apply to housing companies. I plan to explain my situation. Sorry, Jasmine, is there a follow-up to that? Well, I'll just continue. If you have put a follow-up to that one, I don't see it. Do let me know. Jan says, is the spring time frame with Caden still there? I don't want to say no, because I'm not getting a direct no, but I'm not picking it up. I'm not feeling it. So maybe it's a possibility. Maybe it's just not super prominent, you know? Sid. When will my directional... Oh, yes. Sorry, we did that one, didn't we? I think I did that. I just did that without thinking. Jan says, what are Caden's current thoughts and feelings about me? Any intentions? So how I perceive it right now is that the feelings are still there. The feelings that, you know, the positive feelings that we look at quite often are still there. But the thoughts are not there. So it's like, it's really... I don't like to say this, and it's not a nice way to put things in these scenarios, but it does really feel like an out of sight, out of mind kind of deal at the moment with him. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit like the emotions haven't changed, but they're kind of suppressed, and then the thoughts are just not there. So it's almost like if he was prompted to think about you, I'm sure those emotions would come up, but they're kind of tucked away, is what I would say. Sid says, well, I hope it'll be back. Okay. I feel like perhaps a week. Sid says, when did my Gorgon flash the bathroom like yesterday when I was in the bathroom? Why? Sorry, I'm saying when. Why? So the message that I'm getting here is the flashes are a prompt, like you're safe, we're still here. So it is interesting, like if you are getting them in areas where your spirits aren't going to be very close with you, like the bathroom, you know? So it could be in situations or places where they're not super close with you. They're still trying to let you know that they're there and that you have safety if you need it, you know? Because even when they're not with you, if you really needed them, they could come, you know? Jan says, what are his most recent thoughts of me? I'm not really getting anything in recent energy, unfortunately. I do feel like in the more distant past, there's been, you know, like memories, and we had dreams a while ago. I feel like they've stopped a little bit at the moment. So I don't really feel like there's much at the moment. Maybe dreams will pick up. We can keep a check on that, of course. Miss Venus says, O's most prominent actions towards me. And oh, it's very nice to see you as well. I know some of you guys, you know, I'm not on at suitable times at the moment. I am picking back up momentum, I do promise that. And doing longer streams. So for this stream, we don't necessarily have a time constraint. It's 8:30 here. So, you know, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Like, even if we went to like 11:30, I think we would be fine. Depending on how it goes. Sometimes the stream naturally comes to an end with less and less messages. We'll see. But I don't necessarily have a time constraint other than, you know, maybe I won't go to 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. because I might need to sleep, but we'll see. But anyway, it's really nice to see you, is the point I was making. I'm glad that you could come in, even if it's just for a little bit. And if you are someone, by the way, sorry, I will get to the question, but if you are someone who rarely finds you're struggling to get in lately or for a certain period of time, don't worry about, on a member stream, don't worry about posting a lot of questions together. And moderators just try to be a bit lenient to that with other members, because sometimes a member will say to me they haven't been able to make like 5 streams. So if they post a lot of questions in a row, we can give them some leniency to do that, you know, as well. And as I always say, you can send me questions off stream as well. But if you find that, oh, I'm in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just post your questions, it's fine. So yeah, I'll stop going on. And Miss Venus, O's most prominent actions towards me in the coming months. Do you see us having a talk about wanting to take things further, or just friendly hang out? Okay. So it does seem, I don't feel like there's a change in the emotions, the thoughts, the emotions, but I do feel like the brakes have kind of come on a little bit in terms of momentum of things. So I do feel like generally it does look a little bit more casual, but I feel like the intentions are still there for the intentions or the expectations or the how can you say it when it's kind of like, maybe I'm not hoping for it, but I'm very open to the possibility, that kind of energy. And that's still coming up in terms of making it long term, it being long term, it being more serious. I still really feel that. The only thing I would say is that it does look like the momentum slowed a little bit. So it does look like generally over those coming months, at least very how can I say, like maybe the next 2 months at least, it does seem a bit more casual, a bit more slow, but feelings and intentions don't really seem to have changed much, but it does look slower, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. So there's a little bit more of a friendly casual energy to it at the moment, but ultimately, like, long-term feelings and thoughts don't seem to have changed much. Jasmine says the message above what you read, you just read, you skipped it. Okay, so yeah, because I saw... Oh. Is there any... Oh, sorry, yeah. What's going on? So is there anything... Bear with me. Just have a drink here. Haven't drank much water today, and it's very, very unlike me. It's a good thing about talking consistently for a few hours. You definitely get enough water. You have to. So, Jasmine says, is there anything specific I need to do to be approved and get assistance from these 2 housing companies? Or is what I'm doing exactly it? And then, yes, okay. The plan is to get the letter. Yes. Okay, let's check that. Yes, I'm definitely getting supportive energy. I'm definitely getting a yes on what you're doing. If you do have any other things that come up for you, perhaps that you haven't mentioned, anything else that you feel to do, think to do, you can always come to me, even if it's on Discord, and say, I thought about doing this, does this resonate, does this still have the positive energy? And we can do yes or no on that if you need to. I know this is, like, pretty serious situation, pretty, things that are quite important for our life path, Jan says, is this... Oh, yeah, so I did that one. Yeah, I skipped. Yes, okay. So let's get back to where we were. Apologies, Jasmine. Jan, what is keeping him from messaging? Is he afraid to approach me because of the distance? Or is it due to he knows Em will flip out due to her being extra jealous lately? Okay? I feel like there is a little bit of energy surrounding this, that she is a reason in some way, but I also do feel like there's also this kind of I've kind of chosen this. It's, he's been very hesitant for a while, needing to make a decision and go down a path. I feel like he feels like he's made this decision of kind of, I don't want to say like ignoring you, or he's made the decision for you to not be kind of a priority, and to, he's put his priorities and things he's focusing on in kind of like a priority, and it feels a little bit like he's just kind of sticking to that. So it's not like, it's not in a way to sound like it's, how can I say, like cruel to you, or to be for negative intentional purpose, but just for making decisions on my life path and kind of sticking to them in kind of way, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, you weren't a decision on the life path, which is, of course, is unfortunate, But yeah. So do you feel it's a little bit of that? But there is a little bit of M there as well. So you're all right with that? Miss Venus says, do you see O starting to put serious effort into our connection, or continuing to just stay friendly and passive if effort when? Yes. So that's kind of what I was going at when I was delving into the previous question, where it's it does feel like effort is going to be put in, but it does feel like the brakes have been put on for that. So it does feel like the effort being put in, I would say at least over 2 months. Like I do feel like the kind of casual energy, there's definitely a 2 month kind of thing with that. I feel like if the effort does pick up how it looks now, that it will after that period of time. Keep a check on that and just see if that comes forward or backwards, which we don't want. Sid says my question was skipped 2. Oh, what have I done? Was it? I don't think I skipped a question. We did Directional Guardian be back. That's very, very soon. Like they're on their way. It could be a few days. Hope being back. That was like around a week. Gorgon. So the flashing of the light was to let you know that you are protected and that they can be in places where they're not supposed. Like for example, you don't want your spirit with you in the bathroom, but if something did happen, like say you slipped, you fell, or I don't know, you got attacked by a negative entity or something where you might need support, you might need something, they would come if needed and if it was okay, basically. So it's like saying you're still protected even when we're not there. But if there is one I skipped, let me know. Miss Venus says, when do you see Elle and I going to celebrate his birthday in person, and what do you see happening during that meeting? Okay. Okay, so the kind of time frame I'm getting, like it feels to be like within a month. I feel like maybe slightly longer, but I feel like it's going to be very comfortable and very almost as though there hasn't been much distance, almost as though we just met yesterday, very, very comfortable energy, very, very connected energy. I do feel like it would really, there's still a lot of chemistry and gelling well with that, even though, maybe it's been long or maybe talking online feels different at times and things like that. I feel like in person would be very, very, I would say same as previous. Like, I would say, like, nothing really changed, if that makes sense. Jan says, what would be the cause of Caden and drawn out period of minimal communication? Is she going to crash out again and be paranoid of the possibility of often talking to another girl, and that be his last straw? So it does feel like there's a little bit of that within his decision, like, excuse me. It does feel like there's a little bit of that within his decision, like, he does weigh these things up, but it feels a little bit like, it feels like he has a little bit of, I don't want to say like a short temper, because that's not right. I don't feel like he has a temper, but a short, how can I say it, like, how can I say, like, it's not a short temper, but it's like not having very much patience for anything like that, not having a lot of patience for like dramatic situation, like wanting to run away from a dramatic situation. So if there is a situation where drama's being caused, and if it's jealousy or whatever else it might be, I feel like there's a lot of running away from that and a lot of going back to hermit mode because of that. And I feel like it's almost like a fed up energy, like I just can't deal with this, and just relationships in general, not just her, and just kind of just distancing in general, I would say. Miss Venus says, has Omar been thinking about me, and if so, what is he thinking? Yeah, there's definitely a few variations on thoughts. There is very kind of intimate thoughts and feelings, but there's also very kind of like missing just your presence in general, like your company, if that makes sense. Like even thinking back to specific events where you were together and in each other's company, so very kind of like nostalgia a little bit. Sid says, where is Hope and what's she doing? Where is she? Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting a definite on where she is and what she's doing, so we can come back to that if you want to post that further down in the chat. Miss Venus says, Omar's thoughts, feelings, and intentions towards me. Yeah, so I feel like maybe I'm repeating a little bit what I said, but I do feel like there's the attraction, care, all the positive things and things like that. But I just feel like intentions. I feel like there is intentions to go out. There's intentions to keep communication up. There's intentions to really keep the connection with you. Like I feel like really not wanting to let you go is a strong intention. I just feel like these more solid plans for something serious and long term. I wouldn't say they're not there, but I feel like they're taking a back seat a little bit more. That's how I could maybe say it. Jan says, what are David's feelings and any intentions with me? Okay. So I get very positive feelings here. I get very positive intentions. I feel like, there definitely is a desire to be in a relationship with you. And I do feel like there's authenticity and sincerity within that. Carolyn says, hello, Venus. Hello, Carolyn. It's lovely to see you. Has Christopher thought about contacting me? Okay. Yes, it feels quite frequent as well, actually. It feels quite regular. Miss Venus says, do you see O moving on with someone else anytime soon, or will he continue to focus his attention on me? Apologies, I should not be yawning this early. It's only 8:45. Yeah, I don't really feel like this desire for attention to go elsewhere. Like, I feel like even if, there's communication channels that are open, if they pop up, if there's like a few messages back and forth, I feel like he's not resonating with it. I feel like he feels like there's something a bit different with you, is kind of how it feels. Miss Venus' timeline for meeting my new soulmate. Oh, so where you're saying seeing him moving on, no. I would say no to that. I think that's a very low chance of that. And then Miss Venus also says timeline for meeting my new soulmate. So I'm getting a time frame of between December and February come through with that. I'm not sure if that's changed, because I feel like things on this kind of wolf have changed so much. I don't even know if they're changing here or if that's stay the same. Sorry. Jan says, is this new girl another path for Caden, or is she going to be a catalyst to push Caden away from M due to being overjealous? Yeah, I feel like there could be some input, some influence of pushing him away, yes. Sid says, which of my spirits will be watching me over me sleeping tonight? Okay. So I'm getting N come through most strongly. Perhaps there will be more than N, but I do get N. Jasmine says, I found 6 places in Huber Heights, sorry if I say that wrong, that are on one of the housing company's lists. Or any of the apartments out of the 6 places, I'm supposed... Or any of the apartments out of the 6 places here. So, places you're supposed to focus on trying to get. Okay, so... Yes, let's look into that then. 6 places in Huber Heights. Yeah, I do get very positive energy drawn towards one of these, so I do get positive energy with that. I do feel like it would be a beneficial path. Jan says, when is the long drawn out period of hardly any communication between Caden and M? So it feels like towards the end of this month, more towards the end of this month it begins. Miss Venus says, twin flame thoughts, feelings and intentions towards me. I don't really feel like his thoughts, feelings, and intentions have changed. I feel like he's reading you as not very interested, and so there's a backing off almost, or a not bothering in a sense, Caroline says, has Christopher been trying to forget me? Will he overcome his fear about me? At the moment, I don't feel like he's trying to forget about you. I don't feel that, no. John says, when will him and Em cut ties? So the most prominent time does seem to be towards the end of January. That seems most prominent. Oh, we have a new member. I think it's a renewal of the membership. I think you've been a member before, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing handles now instead of display names or usernames. So I feel like I'm connected to this person, like you have been here before, but because I'm seeing the handle, maybe I'm wrong. So let me just scroll down here. Oh gosh, what have I clicked here? Thank you. Yes, nice to see me back. It's nice to see you. So welcome back to the membership. So guys, I really appreciate the support and the memberships and everything like that. It's very lucky that just before I had this kind of distancing myself a little bit and kind of falling off a little bit, I did make the spreadsheet of the channelings, because at least the channelings are very organized. So on the next channeling, I think we'll catch up for anyone that needs catching up, but I will also begin the next one, so I can just do the colour scheme and we can see, does anyone have any left, is anyone moving forward, and if it gets to the end of the month and there are any still owed, they can just be typed up. We'll just do it that way. So that's just to let you know for the channeling. Do try to be present on one of the channeling streams if you can, but if you can't, it's always a good idea just to message me and let me know. If we stay in communication, that would be great. And of course I will do posts, to you guys as well to keep you updated, so make sure you're checking the post section as well. Let's see. So I've scrolled too far up now, let me see. Sid says, I have 3 unbound spirits around me who want to be bound. Will they leave if I don't get them bound? Okay. So I'm getting a no. I don't feel like they'll leave, especially at least not right away. But what I would say is, if you do want them bound, if you're looking to have them bound, I would be happy to do all 3 in one session for you if you want. I feel like we're very connected, so it can do that. Sometimes when I work with a new person, it can take a long time. But I feel like with you, I don't feel like it will take that long. Sunlight says, am I supposed to get a lawyer for the surgery I went through? I have unexpected health issues and complications for it, and was it an injury or malpractice? Okay, so first of all, these are very serious kind of medical, sensitive topics. So what I do always say, I'm happy to answer these questions, but I will always give a disclaimer that you should always check with the appropriate healthcare professional. I would never advise to rely solely on divination for medical issues, and there's a few reasons for that. So one of them is that sometimes our medical issues are the life lessons we have to go through. We're not always made aware of every single thing within a medical issue, if it's something we're supposed to go through naturally. but also, you know, we need to keep that balance of mind, body, and spirit. We need to be just as safe. You know, safety is the main thing. You know, I don't want to. Oh, what have I done here? I just wouldn't want to get something wrong, and you know, it's just one of those things because, you know, every single reader will get some things wrong, and if they say they get every single thing 100% right, then they are just simply lying because it's just not the case. And if I got something medical wrong, I would just feel terrible. So I do always give a disclaimer with that. Please don't rely solely on it. Please do always get double check with as many different Asian people as you want, as many healthcare professionals as you want. But yes, let's look at what the ball says anyway. So are you supposed to get a lawyer for the surgery that you went through? Let's see what we get for that. So I do get a yes on that. I get a yes on the lawyer. I have unexpected health issues and complications from it. Was it injury or malpractice? Okay. Yeah, you see, so I am getting malpractice from it, and obviously that's a very serious accusation that I don't want to be making, so always do make sure you're double checking that, getting any kind of confirmation or evidence that you can get, but the ball is leaning towards that, that's what I will say. But yeah, just as a disclaimer on health questions there. So Sid says, when will my fairy you be back, and where is he? Okay. Yeah, this is another one where I'm getting very, very soon, within the next few days or so, and another one that is on the way back. It does seem like there's a little bit of travelling through a few different realms going on there, but definitely coming back very close to you. Jasmine, no worries. Thank you for scrolling back to the question. You're welcome, of course. I'm so sorry. Guys, I never intentionally skip a question. Well, I do with like trolls and things like that, but for you guys, I would never intentionally skip a question, so always do point that out to me. But just bear in mind, it's not on purpose, so don't shout at me. Which Jasmine didn't do, I'm just saying. Jan says, when will me and Caden hang out? When will our communication and calls pick up and be very frequent? So I feel like I can't give a time frame on it right now because it just seems very quite low to me, like low prominence. I will say, to me it feels like maybe 30% prominence right now of this happening, so it does feel pretty low. Of course that's not 100% no, and we do know that's, you know, because of the connection, because of how how things were, but yeah, I don't feel like I could give a time frame on it, unfortunately, but it's always something, you know, always keep a check on that, keep seeing what comes through with that. Sid says, why are there so many fae coming to my parents' house and interacting with me? So it seems to be an energy that you're needing right now. And particularly, it's like a light-hearted, playful, like, almost like trying to raise you out of maybe a... It's not to say that you're totally a serious person, you're being too serious in your whole life, but there might be an area in your life path where you're taking things a little bit too serious or being a bit too over-worried, overthinking, and they really... I know they can be like mischievous and things like that, but they really do raise the energy from seriousness to kind of playful and light. They can help heal inner child things as well. But for you specifically, I'm getting like trying to raise you up a little bit from being too serious in something. And it says, I asked where Hope is and what she's doing. Yeah, so I think we did that one now. I'm so sorry. Jasmine's... Jasmine says the 6 places are Bellefontaine, Channing Way, Fisher Drive, Hillford, Misty Lane, and Wayne Meadows. Can you tell me which ones I'm supposed to apply for? Already feeling Bellefontaine and Wayne Meadows coming through very, very strongly, but let me see if the ball agrees with me here. Yeah, I do feel so. I do feel so with that. Jan says, so has Caden decided to not go down the path with due to her being extra jealous lately? We got last time he was very put off by her lately and hesitant in going down that path with her. I don't feel like he's put off at the moment. I wouldn't say put off. yeah, I wouldn't say like totally fully put off. I would say maybe like, I feel like he takes a step back at times, but I wouldn't say fully like, fully put off. Maya, hello! Spirit animal for Maya, yes. Oh, you get the peacock spirit. Very nice. The peacock spirit says, let it shine. So the peacock spirit is all about showing off, And the peacock shows its beautiful feathers. The peacock spirit is very much about knowing what is beautiful or great or amazing or vibrant or positive about yourself and just showing off. Not in like an egotistical way, but in a like, I'm proud of the fact that I got good at this, or I am good at this, or I'm proud of the fact that I have this trait, and I'm just letting it shine, So not to take it too far to like ego, but just to be very proud and happy and open and sharing, sharing what's positive about you with other people as well. Chakra card for Maya as well. So you have faith and the third eye. Faith and the third eye. So you might need faith on a certain situation. There might be something you're trying to manifest or focus on yourself that you need a bit of faith with because maybe it's taking time or something like that. But also have faith in your own spiritual abilities when you get that card. Sunlight, I have a lot of pain in my abdomen and torso and doctors don't know why. Do you know why it is nerve? Do you know why it isn't nerve damage? Okay. So I do get, nerve damage is coming through quite, I want to say positively, but as though that is correct. But there's also something, I'm like being guided to digestion. I'm not 100% sure on what that is. Like, the digestive system, like here in this kind of area, so digestion and nerves are coming through. So there could be something else there, but. Yeah, like I say, please do always double check with your healthcare professionals, getting second opinions and everything like that as well. Our body is the temple. This is the house of our spirit. We do need to really be super careful with it. Spellcasting for Maya, yes, it's nice to have a little go with the cards because I know this is a really crystal ball focused stream, which I love, but nice to have a little card read. So you have truth. So truth. So when we get truth, so there is a mirror in this picture. So it can be learning new truths about yourself. It can be coming to light with something about yourself, or sometimes being honest about something that's not so great about you and then working on it can be truth. But also when we do get the truth card, there can always be the truth is coming out in some way. Something that's been hidden from you might come out, or someone might confess feelings, or someone might admit to something they've done wrong, all of those kind of things, John says, if I were to go on the path of David, would I be as attracted to him as I was with Caden when we are in person? Like in terms of physical attractiveness and personality-wise and how we get on? So I feel like mostly yes. I'm feeling like there could be some lower energy on just purely physical attraction, but for the most part with that answer I'm getting yes. Jasmine, how many bedrooms should I apply for with this housing, okay? I'm getting 3. So do you know if that's like a minimum of 3 or just 3? Leela, yes, thank you for confirming. So do you see any blockages in my energy? Let's see. So I'm seeing a tiny bit in the solar plexus. It really doesn't look terrible, you know, it's very small, but I'm also seeing like a little bit of weakness in the aura, more like heart throat area, where you may be picking up other people's negative energy. Maybe if you're around, because the aura is a little bit weak, you might pick up more negative energy like that from other people, rather than there being something blocked in your own internal system. So do bear that in mind. It's always good to clear and cleanse, but strengthen the aura and protections as well. Okay, so just bear with me one moment. I'm just going to blow my nose. I won't be a second. So I think I might open the window as well because it's very, very warm in here. So just bear with me for one moment. I will be back. I'm not going anywhere, so please don't worry. Keep your questions coming in. I won't be a moment. Hello. So, excuse me, I keep yawning. I am okay, and it is going to be a long stream, so don't worry. But I keep yawning. So let's see. Jan, after this distance from do you see him renewing the connection with her, or will he be more content and keeping things as is with her and realise she is more trouble than she's worth? So I do feel kind of like it's less prominent in this upcoming energies, like soon, near future, you know, kind of more close distant future. I do feel a little bit like it's less prominent that he will fully keep her away, like completely, totally, fully. I do feel that, but also I still feel like I still get the energy of like the end is a definite thing. Like this isn't going to be long term, long lasting, but it just feels a little bit like it's stretching out a little bit more than maybe it should have, but also with bigger gaps of distance as well. It's like the bigger gaps of distance are more, how can I say, like more frequent, but that they keep occurring rather than it just coming to an end. I hope that makes sense. I still see the end, not, you know, not, I don't see long term, but that's kind of how it's coming. S Leela says, can you see any progress in the energy between me and Adrian? Okay. Yes, there's a very slow and steady energy coming through, but I'm getting a yes. Druid Wisdom for Maya and Sufi Wisdom as well. So Druid Wisdom. Glastonbury Tour! You got Glastonbury Tour now. This is somewhere that I hold very dear and have been a couple of times. Where are we going if not deeper into this love? Heart be pure as a holy dove. Let me in or let me go. Carry rhodochrosite for deep love and healing. So I can't pronounce it properly, so look just in case you want to see it. You can see the spelling there. But it is a very beautiful stone. It is a heart chakra stone. It's green and pink. It's very beautiful. I do have some myself, but I just never heard it spoken, so I'm not sure on pronunciation. And that's the thing, when we're into crystals and we're just reading about them, you're like, how do I actually pronounce that? And then your Sufi wisdom is energy of love. Behold the world through the eyes of love. So very interesting, because you're getting 2 love cards, even though you're not asking for the love deck. So that's interesting, because Glastonbury Tor is viewed as the heart chakra of the earth. So actually, there's this very strong love energy at Glastonbury Tor. And then you're also getting a love card in the Sufi wisdom. So that's very interesting. There must be a lot of love around you, love on the horizon, you know? Jasmine says, is there a specific time frame I need to utilise to apply for this particular housing? Or is it just when I get my paperwork together and I'm ready? Okay. Yes, I'm definitely getting the energy of don't rush, but don't take too long. It's kind of like, do make sure you're ready, do make sure you're thorough, all of those things, but just make sure you're not. So there's a difference between being thorough and taking your time and realising that you're procrastinating. And I think that's one thing, you know, we do have to be honest when we're procrastinating. We all do it. I love my job. I love what I do. And there's still some times when I find myself procrastinate a bit, and I'm like, I'm even thinking while I'm doing it, you know, I literally can't wait to do this reading. Why am I procrastinating before it, you know? So, yeah, we have to, my point there was like, we have to be honest with ourselves when it is procrastination and there isn't another reason for it, you know? So we do have to question ourselves for that. So just make sure you're, you know, not being too slow is what I would say. Sunlight, yes, I did get yes to malpractice, but as I'm saying, you know, I can't diagnose or anything like that. Medical and health related questions, I have to be, you know, I really have to be very clear that we can't just take the crystal ball's words for those things. We really do have to be thorough when it comes to things that are very serious to our physical health, our physical bodies, you know. It's much more in the physical realm. We do have to really make sure we're still checking with the healthcare professionals. But it did come as yes. Jan says, I had a dream the other day where M DM'd me and said she was with someone else, and Caden also messaged me out of the blue. Is this just a desire dream or a premonition or an inside look into what's brewing between them, with them being fed up? So unfortunately I am getting this come through as a desire dream, and I am really sorry about that. But yeah, it is coming through as desire, I'm sorry. And Maya now says a love card for the person I'm thinking about, so you're even intuitively on to the fact that they were going to come through as love. So there you are, you have a love card there, which is soulmate. Very nice. Yes, this person is your soulmate, your secret, your connection is secret. Your connection is secret. Thank you, Sid, as well, for helping out in the chat. I greatly appreciate that. You're very sweet. Eslila says, can you see any new relationships coming towards me soon? Yes, I feel like it's more, so like April, May, June, that kind of second quarter of the year, if that makes sense. Those 3 months, April, May, June, is the kind of time frame we're getting for that, for you. Earth magic for Maya. We have mountain and strength. Very good. So, you know, it's interesting because, you know, like we can take the energy, like I always talk about taking the energy of like maybe the archangels you want to work with or whatever it might be, your guides, totem animals, you know, but we can take the energy of like elements and, you know, part of nature and things like that as well. You know, if you want strength, you can take that energy from the mountain, you know, that strength from the mountain. If you want grounding, you can think of the roots of the trees, you know, so it's all of these things. If you want to pick up momentum, you can think of the rivers, the flow of the rivers, you know. So all of these things we can incorporate, and the strength of the mountain is there. So maybe being guided to have strength at the moment. Maybe you're going through something difficult, or maybe you will go through something difficult, but remember that we can take strength from all aspects of nature: animals, mountains, trees, water, anything it might be, you know. And an angel card, yes, reduce the Wrath Soul Angel for Maya. Very nice. I do love them. Okay, so I'm actually thinking the top one. Not very common, but I am thinking of that. So we have it's Breathe by Archangel Metatron. So we have Creation, Archangel Metatron, and Breathe. This is the dawn of a beautiful and magical new day, where the possibilities are endless. You are in charge of your destiny with renewed energy. A newfound sense of calm and tranquility is with you, as is Archangel Metatron, providing balance and harmony to your life. Trust is the magic of new beginnings. Very nice. Trust is the magic of new beginnings. Sorry. So sorry. Jan says, will M act up on her birthday, the 23rd, or Caden's birthday, the 16th? And will that be what pushes him to stop talking to her? I'm guessing no on that one. Jasmine says, Hoover Heights is where I grew up and my mother has lived in the same place for 20 years now. My kids are happy and comfortable here and at their schools. The city has been my dream location. It is meant for me to eventually buy a house here. Is it meant for me? Okay. I do get a yes on that. I have a goal that when I get a new apartment and stay there and build myself back up until I can buy a house in my dream neighborhood here. What do my guides have to say about this? Okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, there's just so much support on that. It's like they're really supportive of just a motivated plan that's, you know, it's practical, but it contains dreams, you know, it contains positive kind of, you know, it's really positive to desire to move to a certain place in our life, but when there's also practicality to it as well, it's not just like, oh, I want all this money, or oh, I want this loving relationship. It's something where you are really practically putting steps in place and thinking about it very logically. They do really appreciate that because, you know, that's part of this life path, this physical 3D life path. We do have to tap into those, you know, be organized, be logical, be and all of those things. So they're very supportive of that. That feels nice. Vote for one moment. Okay. Let's see. So Jan says, should I message Caden happy birthday on the 16th, or should I just not say anything? If I should say happy birthday, should I just message him in a game and not directly on Discord? Okay. So I'm guessing a no to it. I'm guessing a no. I feel like there could be some expectation that you're going to do that, and I feel like the wondering about that when you don't could help keep his energy there. Like keep it, like, why didn't she? You know, keep it focused there. So it'll be more focused if you don't. Maya says Samuel Aries notices we have a soul union. So I feel yes, but I feel like, you know, he might not say it like that. But the emotions, the feelings, the connection, yes, definitely feels it. Eslila says, what Peter is thinking about me. So definitely do feel thoughts about you. I feel like it's a bit more... So it's not like thinking of memories of anything, or thinking of like things you've spoken about or anything like that. It feels a little bit more like, and maybe wanting to connect with you a little bit more in the future, or delve a little bit deeper into like communication or conversation or something like that. Much more kind of thinking of what might happen in the future. John says, just for clarity, is Caden still set on the path with M, despite everything, or is he just not wanting any path at the moment? I would imagine he isn't set, given the distance and them cutting ties being inevitable. sorry if that was loud. I feel like at the moment, I feel like there's a content energy with it. Like, he's not really concerned about going elsewhere or doing anything else. I feel like he's very okay with things. But I feel like what you're saying, set on the path, I feel like it's more, I've made a decision and I'm kind of going with it, rather than being totally set on it. Although I don't feel like he's super urgent to get off that path, I don't feel like he's super focused on like how it might progress or what the outcome might be. So I hope that makes sense. Jasmine says, I was diagnosed with menorrhagia some years ago. I'm definitely not saying that right, I'm sorry. Is there an underlying condition that went undetected, and if so, what? Is there an underlying condition that went undetected, and if so, what? Okay. So I'm guessing a yes to something being underlying. I don't know if it's a condition. I'm not being given a condition. Yeah, I would say it's either something maybe genetics, or something that is underlying. I'm not getting a complete confirmation on what's underlying. Could it be genetics? I'm not 100% on that. Yeah, it's like I am getting confirmation on something being underlying. And Miss Venus says, has the twin flame been thinking about me lately? And if so, what are his thoughts about me? Yeah, so it's funny because I feel like there is some recent thoughts of, it's almost like wondering why she isn't interested, because like I said earlier, there is this kind of thought of like, it's not necessarily that he is not interested, but it's kind of like, I don't really know how interested she is. And I feel like there's been thoughts of like, why wouldn't she be interested, like contemplating that. So Miss Venus says, do you see my twin flame still trying to get together with me, and maybe even asking me to go out on a date? I feel like it's low prominence at the moment. I feel like something could happen, like if there was another event that you met at, or if you reached out a little bit and you were talking a little bit more, maybe if you were kind of taking the lead on a conversation a little bit more, or something like that, then yeah, I would say so. But I feel like there's a bit of a backing off, you know, a little bit at the moment. Jasmine says, now that my truck is completely broken down, what are my guides suggesting I focus on to make money? So there's still a gentle push to doing something spiritual, but there's definitely a kind of supportive and comforting energy that might not come right away. But there is also another message that there may be a remote position that comes up that might interest you, that might come up if you search, that actually might suit you pretty well in a remote sense, you know, where you may not have to travel as well. It doesn't seem like it would come up right away, like within the next few days, but also doesn't feel like it would take too long to get that opportunity as well. Let's see. Jan, will me not messaging on his birthday prompt him into wanting to message me to figure out if something happened to me? I don't feel like it will go as far as him messaging you, but I do feel like it will prompt thought of you to be a bit more forefront, to come to the forefront a little bit more, because they're very, very suppressed at the moment. But I feel like there will be a subconscious expectation of you reaching out, and when you don't, that will prompt thinking of you. So I don't think that he will reach out on that day, but I do think it will provoke thought. Leela, can you see any messages from Adrian, how he's doing? We don't have a contact. So, okay. So on the crystal ball, do try to be a little bit more specific because it's not a channeling. So are we wanting to just know if he's okay, or is there something specific that you're kind of wanting to know? Yeah, I would check, because you've said how is he doing, I will check that. We'll get energy of that. But if you do have anything more specific, just because it's not a channeling, you know, if we're tapping into someone, a lot of things could come through. So more specific questions are best. But I'll see how is he doing. Yeah, it feels like mostly good. I feel like there's some kind of not, you know, okay kind of energy, like not great, but I feel like mostly it's positive. It's more on the higher side than the lower side, I would say. Jan says, if he's so content with things with her, then how come he will cut ties? It seems like a 180 energy from him being like, I've made a decision, to him going against his decision with her. It's the up and down energy, you know, it's what we're talking about, like, as we're going through the questions. It's that up and down energy of, you know, he is content when things are okay, but when things get, there's arguments, or if there is jealousy, he wants to backtrack away from any drama. So I feel like it's just the balance between that and the cognitive dissonance between that. Jasmine says, when I was diagnosed, they said nothing was wrong. Should I go back to the same doctor for them to retest me, or go somewhere else? And if somewhere else, what name is coming up? Okay. Yes, I'm getting like a second opinion energy come through. Second opinion. Jan says, if we were to put it in a percentage, how much lower would I be attracted to David in person than Caden? Okay. I'd say maybe 10 to 20, so it's not super high. Jasmine says, I just saw something online about endometriosis. Is this like a umbilical endometriosis? Okay. I'm guessing a no on that, actually. I feel like a second opinion might be good, just to make sure with these things, you know. Jan says, will Caden just assume that I'm over him, or done with, or with someone else if I do not message him on his birthday? Like, will his thoughts be negative over me? No, I get a no on that. Leela says, does Adrian consider to contact me? Does he feel the special spiritual connection between us? Okay. So at the moment, I wouldn't say that he feels it like that deep, like as if it's like a special spiritual connection. But I do feel like there's, considering contacts, I do feel like that does come up. Skipped, oh no. Why was Emma upset last night? What happened between her and Caden? Okay. So it seems like a very small argument over him not replying enough. Like, it's almost like she's nagging him, you know, getting kind of wound up because he's not replying at all. Like, a very big gap in replying. So yeah, it just seems to be like about that. Jasmine says, for the remote position, is there any specific thing or website coming up to look at? I'm not getting a specific. Maybe the company, you know, if they do advertise on a few different websites, that could be why. I'm not getting a specific come up. Jasmine says, I'm very skeptical about remote postings. Yes, always, of course, we always still do our due diligence, make sure everything is okay and all of those things. Be as safe as we can be. But you know, just because something might be put in your path to try to assist you, to try to help you, like if you don't have transport and there's a remote job that may come up for you, doesn't mean you have to go down that path. You don't have to, you know. So I would also just say that. Jan says, what will be the final straw of Caden's cut ties of M, or is it more so realization of every argument? Yeah, I feel like it's just a kind of getting fed up in the end, getting fed up of the drama, you know? So it does feel like it feels like the chat's really winding down, but it's only just been over an hour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share it and just put live now, just in case there's people who haven't seen it. So I'm just going to refill my water and take a quick toilet break. But again, I'll be very, very quick. I will be back. I have no time constraints this evening, so if questions keep coming, I will stay. If it winds down for questions, I can maybe do something else. If anybody wants like a rune or something, I'm very happy to keep the stream going for other purposes. So keep your questions coming in. I won't be a moment. Again, I need to fill up my water and go to the toilet, so it won't be a second. Hello. I hope I'm back. So let's see, do we get some more in? Miss Venus, I think. So how does O see me then? Does he see me as a friend? We talk every day, he calls me my gal. And he's been telling me that I should be there with him. And he misses me always. Why the breaks? Yeah, so I definitely don't see it as friend. I 100% don't see it as friend. I really don't. I just feel like the momentum on on it just feels to me like in the past I've seen it like progress a bit quicker. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just feel like I've seen it progress a bit quicker, and I feel like there's a little bit more of a slowness to it now. It doesn't feel different. It just feels like if it was going to happen pretty quickly and be like, well, not short-lived. I don't think it would be short-lived unless you chose to go down the other path. But I just feel like there's a bit of a more drawn-out energy to it. I wouldn't say a change in his feelings. I certainly wouldn't say friend. I don't think that I felt that from him for... I don't know if I've ever felt that from him. But yeah, I definitely don't think friends. Jasmine said, I heard the song Can't Take My Eyes Off You by Frank Valli. Who is this coming from and why? Okay. It feels more like kind of a positive omen, like a message from a future person, you know? Like a comfort that there's something coming that's romantic. Jan says, what are the other things you see I can do to get me on Caden's mind more outside of not messaging him on his birthday? Okay. Yeah, I don't really feel like there's much right now. I just feel like distance is needed because I feel like it has to be a bit natural. Like, I feel like he has to have those feelings and come to that decision naturally now. Yeah, I don't really feel like there's much more that can be done or pushed for. I feel like it's, you know, it's kind of like pushing against the tide for such a long time. Gets to the point where he just kind of needs to want it enough to go for it, you know? So that's unfortunate, I know. Sorry. So, I lost my scarf. My friends has just messaged saying they found my scarf. We searched the apartment and we couldn't find it. So I'm just like really happy. I was like manifesting that I wasn't lost. Yeah, bear with me, sorry. I'm just really happy about that. I am really happy about that. I did really love that scarf, and it's pretty new. I'm just going to get a I need to remember that I get uncomfortable when it's over an hour. I start to get a bit uncomfortable. Right, let's get back to it. I'm so sorry. Just really grateful that the scarf came back. Okay, so let's see. So I think we're up to... Jasmine says I still have questions, just posting really slowly today. That's fine. I don't have a time limit. If it gets really quiet and, you know, we're just kind of waiting too long for the questions, maybe we will end it a little bit or something like that, or just, like I said, if anyone does want something else, like a room maybe, we can definitely do that. My mind's like, I don't even know what else we could do. I know we have tons of cards, but rooms maybe. We could do anything else. But yeah, so why do you have some members here? You know, questions are picking up a bit, so that's good. But also, what I'm thinking, you know, we did a little bit of a spell on manifestation day, you know. But I'm thinking, do we want any? We haven't done like a spell rally in a long time. I'm thinking like love spell. I was thinking maybe doing a love spell. We haven't done one in a long time. I was maybe thinking it could be, you can have your own intentions and like focus them if you want, but I was thinking maybe a kind of a subtle, gentle one of like, just to allow us to vibrate at the right path, the right frequency, and just, you know, just being in that right frequency of love with that right person who, you know, is very connected and suitable, you know. So I was feeling kind of maybe a bit of a broad one like that. Something happened to the music then. So just wondering if you're interested in that. And also, I know I'm really trying to pick up on crystal ball and channelings this month, but if there is a certain type of stream you particularly want that's not one of those two, do let me know. I know that some of you still want a bone reading and didn't get that, so you can do any of those things as members only as well. So do let me know if you can think of anything. And Jan, sorry, says, I'm really cold, so my typing is slow. Oh no! You know, I'm getting there now. I'm getting a bit chilly, but for some reason I was very warm before. Like, the only good thing up here, like when it rains, is that generally the temperature's okay when it's raining. It's more when it's not raining and it's really windy that it's horrible and cold. So actually, even though I don't like the rain, kind of prefer it because it's not, you know, cold. So Miss Venus says, why are O's long-term intentions and feelings reducing? Is there anything specific, even energetic cause? Okay, yeah, let's look at that. But I don't feel like they're reducing. I feel like they're just taking a step back. I feel like, I know it sounds like reducing. I know that it's difficult for me to explain how it comes across. It feels like it's still there, but it's almost in the back of the mind. It feels like as a bit of this time passes, this kind of slower energy time, I do feel like they would be right there again where they were. I do feel like they're going to come back. That's one thing I will say. They just feel like they're almost taking a back seat, going a bit slow at the moment. But I wouldn't really say that they're reduced or gone or anything like that. I feel like when they crop back up there on that path, I feel like they will be just as vibrant. I hope that makes sense. But let's look at this. So any specific reason, energetic or anything like that? It feels a little bit like a gradual shift to focus on his own path. Like, we can focus on multiple parts of our path at any one time. I'm not saying that we have to focus on just love, just money, just spiritual. Absolutely not the case. But it does feel like some of his energy is going from that root kind of focus, and it's now it's like, you know, if you think about it, like if we're focusing on every aspect of our path, or the percentage, you know, of our focus might be split into like quarters or something, you know. But it feels like his root path was like, let's say it was like 75%, and then the love path was 25. It feels like that's going to balance back out, and the love, it's almost like that root energy is going to minimize, and the love energy is going to come back a little bit more to focus. So I hope that makes sense. I know I always try to explain things in percentages. I think it's easy to understand, hopefully. But let me know if not. So Jan says, is the path with Caden just gone, or is it looking like we're both taking a detour but things have potential? Yeah, so okay, the way you've put that there is perfect. So that's what I feel. It's not that there's no potential for it, it's not that it could never happen, but you're definitely both on a detour at the moment, and that's why it's difficult to say time frames and all things like that. So it's very difficult for me because it's like, I can't give a time frame, I can't give something that doesn't come through, but I also can't give a complete no, because there's still something there, there's still some energy there, which is common with twin flames, you know. But it's difficult, you know. I feel like it would be easier for me to say no. There's nothing. Move on, you know. That would be easier, but I have to say what's coming through. I have to say what I see, and the way you phrase that is the perfect way to say it. This is what I mean when I say I'm not that good at explaining things. Like, I could have just said that to Jan, but yeah, I'm really sorry. Okay. Jasmine says, I heard the song If This World Were Mine by Luther Vandross a few times. Who is this song coming from and why? Okay. I'm not getting anything for that one. There must be some message within it if you're getting it a few times and if your attention's really being turned to it. I would say there's some message within it. It could be that it's not from a specific person, but there's some message. So sometimes I would say sit with it, even meditate and try to pinpoint the lyrics. If any specific lyric speaks to you, it might just be a specific message rather than something from someone, you know. Jan says, what would be his thought if I don't message him on his birthday? Since I'm not negative, it's like just wondering and being, yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's thought-provoking. It's like, oh, why didn't she? You know, you weren't on my mind, but now that you haven't messaged, I'm like, I expected it. It's almost like a subconscious expectation. So he'll think like, oh, why didn't she message? Eslita says, after my dad died, I'm very, very sorry to read that. Someone stole letters from my mum's mailbox, and it was a family member. Oh, was it a family member or a neighbour? Okay. Unfortunately, I'm getting family member for that. I'm really sorry to say. Jan says, love cards, please, on whatever cards you feel drawn to. Okay, so let's do love. We have, these are my favourite, I do love them. So our love one for Jan, we have patience. So you have, some things still need to be dealt with for this connection to manifest. Patience. And then let's do a spirit animal for Jan. Spirit animal. So you're getting the spider. Spider spirit animal. Okay. So the spider spirit is make your dreams real. So the spider's energy, it's all about like casting a web, you know, casting a web to catch your desires, your dreams, the things that you want within it. So it can be about taking steps. It can be about, you know, getting out there, reaching out, doing things, putting things in place. But it's really positive. Like the spider's very positive for manifesting. The spider is a very positive totem animal for manifesting specifically, you know. So yeah, I always find that interesting, you know, because sometimes we feel like we wouldn't really want maybe something like a creepy kind of spirit animal, but I love the spiders, I love tarantulas and everything like that, so it's fine by me. Miss Venus says, is my twin flame looking for a real relationship at this point though? Because he should know that that's what I want. Does he consciously know that? Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel that there's some conscious awareness that that's what you want. I feel like it feels a bit more like he does consciously know that you do want something more, but there's some hope or expectation that you might want something casual, because it feels like when we first kind of reconnected, it feels like he was going all in with it, and he did kind of, he didn't have a specific expectation or specific goal, he just really wanted you, if that makes sense. But I feel like he shied away from, I feel like he's not ready for a relationship at the moment, and that even though he didn't necessarily want something only surface level with you because he feels that deep connection, I feel like he kind of took himself out of it in a way, like feeling like he really isn't ready for a relationship. Yeah, I think he isn't looking for a real relationship at this point, but I feel like he does feel like, I feel like he feels like he's let himself down a little bit, because there's definitely an energy of, it's almost like needing something more with you. It's almost like you aren't, it isn't good enough to only have, you know, that shallow connection with you. Think he does feel that. So it's kind of this push and pull with her. I feel like I do want something more, but I'm not ready. It's very kind of like push and pull, like internal conflict a little bit, I would say. Sid says, will I be able to sleep with earplugs in my ears tonight without it being so painful that it keeps me awake? Okay. I guess a yes on that. So, best of luck, I hope so. Jasmine says, what are Phil's thoughts about me? Okay. I feel like there's a bit of upset and a bit of kind of like, it's almost like the energy of like hoping you're okay. I feel like it's almost like a bit of empathy going out to you, I would say. But I do feel like feelings and thoughts and energy towards you at the moment is very minimal. Maybe it's all in the spiritual and subconscious at the moment, because it does feel very minimal. Jan says, if we do end up going down the path with David, will it be temporary or long term? And do you see occasion returning whenever I do go for it? I'm kind of scared if I ultimately decide he will come back. Oh yeah, so if you... Okay, let's look at that. So first of all, we are seeing a long-term potential with David, so I'm seeing a long-term potential. I do feel like Kaizen may reach out at a time where it's not past the point of no return, if that makes sense. Like when you're still in kind of early stages of a relationship where maybe you might make one of each decision. I feel like there is possibility of that. Like it wouldn't be too far into the relationship that you couldn't kind of, you know, I'm not that I'm supporting that or anything, but these things do happen. And it is best to be like early in the relationship than way down the line. That's kind of what I'm saying. But yeah, I do feel like you could come up against a decision if you go down that path. As Leila says, will the person I meet next year be in a long-term? Will I be in a long-term relationship with him, and what qualities will he have? Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing the potential for a long-term relationship. The energy that's really coming through in terms of, what do you call it, qualities? Qualities, yes. I do feel like a very kind of attentive and responsible energy, like being very aware of what's going on and being very kind of attentive and kind, you know, these things like that. Like responsible. So I feel like a bit of a problem solver, and I feel also like the social energy is kind of... Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with that. I feel like the social energy is kind of balanced, because I feel like it can be very social, can, you know, meet the family, meet the friends, be very outgoing and things like that. But there's also can just relax at home, be very chill. You know, it's almost like not needing to constantly be social and constantly be like, you know, getting that energy from being out there and things like that. Feels very balanced in that sense. So that's quite nice as well. I do feel like, you know, the nice things we do want, like being kind, being generous, things like that. I do feel that, so that's nice. Yeah, they're the main qualities that kind of coming through here. Atmosphere says skipped. Will I meet my new soulmate at this place I've been going to called Trilogy Sanctuary? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep skipping. Yeah, I seem to be getting a no on that, but go out and meet people still. I definitely not trying to discourage it, but I'm getting a no on that, unfortunately. Jan said David's been throwing it up in the air about meeting up in person and stuff. I feel like he's half serious. If this were to happen, when would it be? Okay. Yeah, so I do feel like he's serious. I feel like maybe not right now. Like maybe he is thinking a little bit more future wise. But I feel like it could be next year. Like I feel like it could be, not like super into the future. I do feel like it could be pretty soon. I would probably say more mid or after in the year, but I do feel that. Estelita says, will my financial situation change? Okay. Yeah, and with that, I'm feeling kind of just before the middle of next year, just before the middle. Jasmine says, does Mike say I should continue to wait for Phil? What does he really have to say about this after he was the one who told me to hang on it was going to be hard? Okay. So I feel like all of your guides and spirits and kind of, the team around you, I feel like they're all more supportive of new refreshed energy now. I feel like they do feel like, things things came to too much of a close, I kind of feel like. I feel like he has a lot of support around that and empathy around that. But I feel like he's grown to recognize a lot more strongly what a twin flame connection is, and I feel like he's still in support of it in that sense. But I do feel like he's more of the belief that it might be further in the future or it might be a different life right now. I feel like that's kind of the energy. I feel like all of your spirit team are very supportive of like new, refreshed energy right now in all different areas of your life. Miss Venus says the second part of that question about O is why the breaks. Yeah, so what I was saying was with that when I was trying to explain that root chakra energy being it's difficult for me to explain. So it's like so I don't know exactly what the root chakra energy was. Like we were discussing that it might have been a living situation or work or something money related or living situation related. I feel like a lot of the energy was on that, and now it's kind of gradually shifting to where the love path's taking up a bit more of that focus and attention. When I was talking about that, I was trying to explain in percentages. And like I said, I don't think we can only focus on one area at a time. But if we're putting too much focus in one area, we do minimize those other areas just by default. And I feel like he's now coming to this point where he's opening back up to that love path being more forefront and having more of that percentage of focus. So yeah, let me know if you did catch that, or if I need to explain that a little bit more. I will try my best. Jan says, what will happen at the end of the year between me and Caden to make me feel like things are back? Is it just random text or just him putting a bit more effort? Okay. Yeah, so it would be the increase in messaging. It does seem like it's the increase in messaging that would cause that. Miss Venus, how does it feel when I flirt with him? He sends me pics of him in Europe. Okay. He feels positive and kind of, I would say there's a bit of like an excitement energy, but I would also say there's a bit of comfort energy, like feeling a bit assured in your connection. Oh, we have a super sticker from Maya. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Love, light, and blessings to Maya. Shout out to Maya. I really do appreciate all of the support to the channel. Don't feel obliged, especially if you're already a member, don't feel obliged to send anything like that, but I do greatly appreciate it, always. And it's just so great that we can support the channel a little bit, you know, because, yeah. I mean, it takes time, and YouTube does take like most of the revenue from it, but I don't really mind. Like, even, you know, I used to do this all the time with no intention of it being monetized. I didn't mind doing it. I love connecting with you. I'm so grateful just to have built a community. But all of those extra things, I just greatly appreciate that. I think that's so sweet. So let's see. Jan says, is the patient's card more so intended to be over Caden or David? Okay. The patient's card feels like it's if you are still focusing on kind of wanting that connection with Caden, it does feel like it's linked to that. I feel like more of the energy and the guides and things like that are kind of more in support of you going on the path of David at the moment, but you're still going to get messages because Caden's on your mind. You are still going to get messages that do relate to him. Miss Venus says, she keeps looking at my stories pretty much right away, like the one of the first ones to look at them. Why, and what does he think about seeing my stuff and the last selfie I posted? Okay. So there definitely is a missing you and a regret energy coming up. There is kind of like a... I mean, I feel like there's positive energy seeing the posts and the photos. I don't feel like it's just looking at them in sadness, you know? I do feel like there's positive energy, like seeing that you're maybe happy or doing well or looking good or anything like that. I do feel really positive on it. But yeah, I do feel like kind of clicking on it right away is kind of like... There's a bit of nostalgia, a bit of missing you, a bit of like, oh, I really want to see, you know, like that kind of energy. Jan says, all my guides wanting me to actively work on manifesting things with Caden again. At the moment, I'm more so just take a back seat and I'm distracted myself and not put... Yeah, no, I don't think so. I would definitely not say so. Jasmine says, why is Phil upset and hoping I'm okay? Like, what is this in regards to? It feels just kind of like... Because... he's not very... he hasn't been very communicative with you, and he's regretful of that. He feels like maybe he should have been a bit more open and explanatory to you. Miss Venus says, is my soulmate aware of me now, and if so, what does he think? I definitely feel like there's been something. I feel like there's been being in your presence or seeing you online or something. I definitely feel like there's something like that. But I don't feel like attention's been fully drawn towards you yet, which is probably why you haven't been approached just yet. But I do feel like it's really close, you know? I do feel like there's some kind of energy there, so that's positive. But at the moment, I would say there isn't much in terms of what he thinks, because I feel like maybe... I wouldn't say like you've been overlooked, but you know, I do feel like it's not fully... Like, I feel like maybe there's a bit of a positive energy, you know, looking and smiling or something, but I feel like that draw hasn't happened yet, you know, that really strong draw. So I hope that makes sense. Miss Venus says a card of your choice. I'm going to pull love for you because I do feel drawn to do that, but let's also give you a... I'm going to give you a love and an angel, because I don't think I've done you an angel, at least not in a long time. Leave your fears behind is your love card. It says, they are stopping this relationship from blossoming. Oh, they are stopping this relationship from blossoming. Maybe that's in reference to Omar. Maybe it's about that slow energy and not being... Yeah, maybe? Or how do you perceive it? Maybe you're feeling differently with that. Well, let's give you an angel card. I feel very drawn to... It's either orange or purple with you. I feel like sacral energy is a little bit strong, or third eye is always a little bit strong. So let's see. Yes. Oh, I don't know. There's two, unique and beautiful. I'm drawn to both of those. Okay, I'm going to hold these pictures up. You tell me which one you're most drawn to. So there's unique. If you can see that one, it says unique underneath it. So you just look at the picture. This one says beautiful underneath it. Tell me which one you're most drawn to, Miss Venus, and I will read that for you. see what she said. We'll just give Miss Venus a moment. You like both? Yes, okay. I was thinking, I bet she says both. So, okay. So we'll do unique first. It's a bit of a shorter message. So we have unique. It says, embrace by Archangel Camille. Embrace your individual beauty. Learn to love this and every part of you from the inside and out. There is a phrase that springs to mind. Do not try to be someone else, as you will only ever be second best. We are all unique and wonderful beings. Focus on this now. Archangel Camille is providing you with endless unconditional love and guiding you to a place of inner peace. We attract what we are. If you are seeking true love, you must love yourself first. Very nice. Although I do feel it's something you kind of know. Maybe it's just affirmation, confirmation of your uniqueness. You are being yourself. Keep doing it. And beautiful. So we have this colour. I don't know if my camera does it justice, but this colour is so you. Like, it really resonates with you. It's very like a nice palish pink. So there we are. It's evolution. What a beautiful, kind and caring person you are. You always help people and oftentimes put many people before yourself. You are allowed some you time though. This has been scarce over the last few months. Occasionally you can say no. It's okay and you do not need to feel guilty about this. People may sometimes take advantage of your kind nature. Recharge your batteries and you can be the happy, light-hearted and outgoing person that you naturally are. Take time out and find inner peace. Then you can continue to provide that love to others, starting with some self-love. Archangel Camille is guiding you into calm waters. You are beautiful. You do deserve love. Very nice. So there's two for Miss Venus. So guys, I'm going to restore the music, so if you just bear with me. I know I keep taking breaks here, but I don't have a time limit, so don't worry. I'm not, if I take some time, we'll just add that time. It's totally fine. But I just want to, it keeps making that noise. I don't know if you're hearing it, but it keeps making this noise. I'm really just want to restart it and see if that's any better. And there's another tab open I might deal with. Bear with me just again. I'm really sorry. One moment. I will be super quick. Okay, it seems to be okay now. Okay. I'll just ignore it if it does it again, but that noise scares me. It's like the noise that the laptop makes before it dies. So let's see. Oh, we have a few. Great. So, where was it up to? The cards. There we go. It's Venus again. Update on my brother's situation. How are the energies working in his situation? Okay. Okay. So what I'm actually feeling here, I'm feeling like an angelic guide, and the is the mic on? Yes, good. So I'm feeling an angelic guide, and I feel like this guide is what they're doing is they're kind of reassuring me that we always have this balance. You know, we have some negative karma, we have some positive karma as we're going throughout our lives. We're trying to, of course, have positive karma and not negative, but they're kind of reassuring me that there's some positive karma that he has, that they're doing their best to kind of serve as much positive karma into this situation as possible to make this situation as light as possible, if that makes sense. So I'm feeling that really positive karmic karma balancing message come through from the angel guide there, so that's nice. Miss Venus says, Twin Flame told me he will keep in contact with me and seem kind. When he was insinuating that he wants to cuddle me and I didn't go with it, lol. What did he mean? So what did he mean by he wants to keep in contact? What do you? I don't really understand the question. Like, what does he mean by he wants to keep in contact? Like, are you saying like as a friend? Like, you're asking, does he want to keep in contact as a friend? Is that what you mean? Sorry, I'm not 100% on that. Jan says, if he does contact me, if I am with that path with David, is it just going to be like him acting like nothing happened and asking to hang, or is it more so like an admission of feelings? So it could begin quite normally, like a normal conversation, but it could lead to admission of feelings eventually. But trying to ascertain and gather what is really going on. Like, are you serious? What's going on, you know? Jasmine says, do you see Phil coming back, and if so, when? Or is he just going to stay with her? Okay. Yes, at the moment I do rarely feel like staying with her. Like, I feel like this percentage was dipping for quite a long time, and I do feel like it's rarely on that path with her now, unfortunately. Miss Venus says, how does my new soulmate look like? Okay. Yeah, so I'm still kind of seeing this brown hair that's not super short, you know? I do see like a little bit of length to this hair. I feel like there's a pretty nice smile with this person, like, you know, nice teeth, straight teeth, nice smile kind of look is coming through. Yeah, I'm not really feeling too much. I feel like kind of for eyes, I feel like brown, but I don't feel like super dark in the color. So it could be like maybe a hazelish, or if you can say light brown for eyes, I'm not sure how you say it. And I also do feel taller than you, and I do feel like, like quite a nice build, like not overweight, not underweight, quite like a nice build. Someone who does look after themselves a little bit, I would say. Personality, okay. So I feel like very open minded. I feel like someone who's a little bit kind of aware of things, like in terms of like, I don't want to say conspiracy, but you know what I mean when I go into that realm, like aware of things that might not be like that everything might not be as it seems, like news and things like that. I do feel like that kind of personality, and I don't feel like super, like I'm a militant like conspiracy theorist. I just feel like there's awareness of these things. But it does feel like there's a little bit of maybe mainstream energy is the best way I can put it, like being quite, I don't want to say average, but you know what I mean, like being quite what people might perceive as normal. There's a little bit of that as well. Um, if that makes sense, like maybe um, music taste or interests, hobbies, might be quite nothing that's too alternative, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit like that, like there's this balance of that kind of alternative energy, being a little bit aware of things and maybe preferring things a little bit more natural. And then there's also I'm fitting in with society. I'm not totally, like basically I suppose I'm saying like not super hippie, like hippy dippy. Miss Venus says, what is the most likely where is it most likely, sorry, that I'll meet my soulmates as of right now on percentage of prominence, please? Okay. Yeah, I'm still getting quite high percentage of online. I'd probably say like 75%. I would say there probably is a chance that you can meet in person because I don't feel a great distance between you, you know? So there can always be divine timing that brings you together at a certain time. Um, Jan says, once he cuts off, is occasion just going to be done with any love path? Or will cutting hair off push him back? Yeah, I do feel like there'll be a hermit mode and a disconnect from the love path. I really do feel that, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say. I already got that before. Stina says, oh, okay, yes, I get you. So I really hope that was to that answer about Omar because, like I said, I do my best to try to explain things, but it is sometimes, the way I will see something in the ball where it's the way I'm interpreting it, which is why I try to do like percentages and things like that. But yeah, I love the confirmation when you do understand me because sometimes I feel like Venus, you're just blabbing on and no one knows what you're talking about. They've probably tuned out already by now, so I appreciate that. Jasmine says, I asked specifically about Mike because him and Phil are similar. He was the reason I decided to focus on Phil and given Mike having a wife. Well, having lived with another woman, that's why I'm set on what he had to say. He would be the one to know what Phil would do. Yeah, and he does seem like he seems very open about it. It seems like kind of like he wanted to understand a bit more about the twin flame connection as well. S. Leila says, will my future partner be English or Italian? Okay. So it feels like both. So it feels like, there could be like one parent Italian, one parent English. It feels a little bit like that. As says, thank you so much, Venus. You're so amazing. It's so wonderful to spend time with you. You know, I feel like, I mean, I love you being here. Absolutely love all of you being here, and it's really nice to connect with you. And I'm glad that you're back, and it's really lovely to see all of you. But some of you guys, I feel like you don't really ask that many questions. Feel free on the streams, you know, if you do, if you have the time, maybe you don't have the time, but if you do, don't be shy. Ask more questions if you want, you know, especially when we're having a longer stream like this. Do feel free to ask all of your questions. Miss Venus says, I asked O in a jokey way if he missed me, even though he had been sending me pics and videos of places and telling me that my presence is needed and missed there. And he said always. Was he joking or serious? I already feel serious, but let's see the ball. Let's see the ball. Yes, I am getting serious with that. Jan says, once Caden messaged me, will our communication pick back up right away? Or is it looking like he will ease into things? Yeah, I'm definitely getting to ease into things energy right now. Miss Venus says, do you see at some point breaking the ice and just making peace with things just to wish each other well? At the moment, I don't. At the moment, I do kind of, like, not to make him sound creepy, but I do feel maybe a little bit like a lurking energy, you know, like kind of like still wanting to see what you're up to, still wanting to have that option open and everything. But I think that there's definitely not, I don't feel that at the moment. Jasmine says, if I was to go down the path with the high level soulmate and Phil became single, would I regret my decision? I'm getting a no. I'm getting a no on that. It's because of the reciprocation of the energy. Once you get into that connection where the energy is being reciprocated, you will, although you'll still always have that some level of connection with Phil, I feel like when the energy is being reciprocated to you and you realise that you're getting what you deserve, I think you'll feel a lot better. Oh, Miss Venus says, but let's read Unique for now. Well, we did both. Miss Venus, I mean, I would love for things to work out with my kitten, but it just seems like the universe doesn't want us together because he still doesn't have his visa. There's definitely always things, challenges, struggles, you know, but these things can hopefully be worked through at some point. But I'm glad to hear it, you know? You know, I've always been in support of Omar, so I'm glad to hear it. Miss V says they're both from Archangel Camiel, who is the, I don't think I pronounced that correctly, but the Archangel of Love. Ooh, very nice. Jan says, if this trip does happen for me and David, is it me visiting him or vice versa? And will this trip cement a relationship, or will we already be in one prior to the trip if it were to take place? Yes, so you'd already be in one, that's for the start, and he would come to you, is what I'm seeing. It's almost like, not necessarily that he will come to you, but it's kind of like he will, whatever, he wants to do the thing that you want to do most. So if it's easier for him to come to you, he will do that. Miss Venus says, no worries, take all the breaks that you need. I just love that we have a longer live stream. Yes. I do too. I think I would much rather have a longer live stream where I'm taking breaks for random things, like needing a wee for how much water I'm constantly drinking. But, and be on for longer than, yeah, have a short stream. I would definitely much prefer it. And I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be, you know, happy to do this and feeling in a good place to do this, I would say. So yeah, it's really great, and I'm definitely planning it. So, you know, I mean, there's a channeling, the 3 o'clock channeling. I do only have 2 hours for that one, but it's 3 o'clock, and that's not the best for most people, which means 2 hours will probably be well enough. But one thing I would say, I'll do a post close, well, it'll have to be in the next few days, about the channelings. And if you do have specific people that you want to put forward right away, if I do get a really quiet stream because it's an early one or something, I will just start with timestamps because that might be easier. But like I said, anything missed will just be typed up to you. But if I can start with timestamps at some point, it might help. Okay, so Jasmine says, everybody seems to be worried about me waiting for Phil, but I don't mind waiting if I know for sure that he's going to come back. I really feel deeply like I will regret moving on if he comes back. Yeah, and I understand that, but I think the thing is, like, for me, I do feel like, even with twin flame connections or soulmate or whatever we're trying to manifest, I feel like they do need a cut-off point where we just get on with other areas of our life, because it's like I've tried to explain this a few times lately, because it's definitely come up for me a bit more. Is like, so you're just as valuable as other people, and when you put yourself through, you know, if you're getting stressed, you're getting worried, or you're getting doubtful, or if it keeps hurting or causing you pain, if it doesn't, then that's fine. But if it does, you're putting yourself through pain. And if you put yourself through pain, it's the same as you putting someone else through pain. If you put someone else through pain, you'll get bad karma. If you put yourself knowingly through pain, you will also get bad karma. These are the things we have to think about, you know? And this is why I always say, you don't get egotistical and think you're above people, but do view yourself on the same level, because if you treat yourself badly, it's just the same as treating someone else badly, karmically. But yeah, I'm glad that you don't mind the streams and everything like that. Miss Venus says, angelic guide, I've been calling in angelic support as much as possible for him, so he gets fairness all round. Yeah, it's really nice to see. I do connect very closely with angel guides. It's probably the most common guide I do connect with when I work with people, unless they're really starseedish, you know? And I think that is just because they're really supporting, really loving, really observing, you know, they're very just there and comforting and protecting, as opposed to maybe a guide who is there for one specific purpose, or is a bit more unique in their connection in some way, you know? Angels are very rounded and very high energy. Miss Venus says, what is the purpose of him saying that to me? So what is the purpose of him saying that he wants to stay in touch? I just feel like it's difficult for, when we have these connections, twin flame, soulmate, or family member, I think it's really difficult to completely cut communication. I think it's really difficult to do that, and, you know, yeah, you know, even people who don't say twin flame or say soulmate, they feel it on some level, you know? So it can be very difficult to cut that connection or end that connection. Jan says, if I keep on how I currently am, such as distracting myself and not fully committing to the David path, would Caden still come back around, or would I have to go down the path? You know, you're not forced to go down any path. You do not have to go down the path with David. Do not think that. It just feels like, what it just feels like is like, when going down the path of David is, there's momentum there. It's like, there's things being done, lessons being learned, a connection being built. It's like momentum rather than stagnant energy. When we just wait for someone, we're in very stagnant energy. When we move on and we're going down different paths, it's energy of momentum. So what is meant to come will come on that momentum path. But I would never, you know, I wouldn't go down the path of David just purely for the fact that Caden might come back, because then it's kind of like you're using David a little bit, and that's not very nice. So do think about it, you know, only if you feel like there's a purpose for you outside of Caden to do that, I would say. Miss Venus says, do you see that I have to work on things with O before I'll be allowed to meet this new soulmate? Or will I still meet him regardless of the situation? No, I definitely feel, I haven't ever felt have to energy, but I really do think that Omar's energy impacts the path. I don't think Omar's energy will ever block it, but I really think it can delay it. Like, I really do feel like the connection with Omar is such a strong connection that it does impact it. Like, there's not more I can say. Like, I don't think that you know, for example, if you got with some random person, let's say a random person that's approached you online, if you got with them, and then I don't think it would impact the soulmate path. I don't think it would stop it, prevent it, block it, and I don't think that anyone else we focus on stops the path. But I just feel like with Omar, it's that specific connection, you know? It does. So yeah, there's definitely something special there. So not in a spiritual place like I was told. It's looking more and more like it will be online. That's great. Do we have people in common? Yeah, and I think that like tiny energy of like maybe it could be in person, I definitely would probably say spiritual place. But to me, I don't know if it's completely flipped or changed, but I'm just really feeling online now. Yes, that is about your clarification about Omar. Totally get you. Okay, good. And if C misses me, what is the reason why he stays away? What does he think about me in the situation? Like he just doesn't break the ice. He's really telling himself in his mind that it just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. It just wasn't. You just weren't. Maybe not compatible, but not compatible enough. He's just kind of telling himself that it wasn't right. Jan says whenever he does message me, in 3 weeks, will Caden enjoy having that connection again, or will it take him a bit longer to that conclusion due to feelings resurfacing? Yeah, I think at any point it happens, it will take time. I definitely do think that. Miss Venus says, when will O get his visa? Okay. Unfortunately, I'm getting a 4-month time frame with that. I'm really sorry to say. Jasmine says, so this love interest that's coming in a few weeks, is he just as good as Phil and their high levels? And they high level soulmate, like what does he have to offer me, and why is he coming before the high level soulmate? I don't understand what you mean, because you've put, and why is he coming before the high level soulmate? So we're looking at a different path here. We're looking at a different path that isn't the high level soulmate. I'm a little bit confused on that. So if you can clarify that for me. Yeah, and okay, so we are getting quite close to the bottom. I don't know. Keep posting your questions. Going for my refill here. And nature calling me yet again. But yeah, so again, I will not be long. Keep posting your questions. If you do, if you have a suggestion of a type of spell, if you resonate with me and you feel like a love spell might be good for the community, please comment that. If you want a specific stream only for members that we haven't done in a long time, like bone reading or something, please do comment that. And if you'd like a rune or anything right now that's not here, please comment that as well. And I'll be right back. I think we're up to Jan, I think. I feel so torn on things. Part of me desires to wait around because I still want Caden, but also I recognise things would be good with David. But I think too it's because it's similar to how things were when things were good with Caden. And as in him giving me 110% same effort as me, he reminds me of what Caden could have been. Well, there you go then, that's totally your sign, you know? It's like, I know it's difficult when you've been on someone so much, but sometimes someone else is put on our path because it's all the things we were looking for that we weren't getting from that other person, you know? So I feel a little bit like when my eyebrows are cut off. I feel a little bit like, you know, what you want is being put right in front of you, you know, and maybe it's not Caden, but this could be really great, you know? And if what you want is being put right in front of you, you really should get it, you should grasp it, you know? And a lot of people would be grateful. But also that gut feeling that Caden is just going to come back. But I'm also like stuck with that. Yeah, but when he comes back, is he still going to have that hesitation energy? You know, is he going to put it all in when he comes back? It's almost like you're getting what you want, but in a different person, and you're scared of the change, the new energy. And if things have been so stagnant with Caden anyway, what's the harm in just trying it and seeing where it goes? Esmina says, what did my twin flame think and feel about the last selfie I posted? Okay. I feel like very attracted. I feel like a lot of your external energy is reaching out. Very attracted, I would say. Jasmine, oh, I skipped something again. Oh no. So with you seeing Phil staying with her, going back to the dream I had where he looked like an old man, was that a premonition of how long they'll be together? Okay. No, I do feel like the old, you know, looking old, I do feel like it is kind of there's some kind of message there about time frame, about waiting, about length of time, but I don't think it's that, how long they'll be together. Jan says, I'd feel more decisive and less torn if I wasn't as attracted to David and knew the connection would be fulfilling, but I do actually like him and recognise it. See, so you recognise you can be happy. It's like you're being given everything you wanted but in a different person, and sometimes we just have to take that, you know? It's like, and you know, this is coming from me, and I understand the dynamics and the energies of different connections, twin flame, soulmate, soul family member, karmic. You know, I understand the different energies of them, but we do also have to think about this lifetime. What do we want to achieve in this lifetime? Where do we want to be? How do we want to feel? Because, you know, being very connected in the spiritual is great, but if it's never going to manifest into the physical, you're never going to have those moments, you know, those beautiful physical, in-person moments. Jasmine says, yes, a different path that isn't the high-level soulmate. You said we'll be coming in 3 weeks to a month. So we're looking at... Sorry, I forgot the question now. Oh, so is he just as good as Phil and the high-level soulmate? Okay. So I would say no. So I would say there's positive energy, there's positive things, you know, positive lessons to be learned and things like that. And I do feel like this is a nice person, but I would say not as good as the high-level soulmate, I would say. Rain, hello and welcome. Jan says, I'd love a room for my current chapter, so I'll grab those in a moment. Miss Venus says, so is C just liking to see if I've moved on for ego purposes, or why is he still liking and looking at my stuff? I do feel like it's for ego. I do feel like there's still attraction there. I feel like there's still kind of wanting to know what... It's like not fully wanting to let go, you know? Now that we have all this access to people that isn't like having to go meet them, having to go spend time with them, it's very easy to not fully break off straight away and kind of, you know, break off slowly and gradually. I kind of feel like he's doing that. I definitely, you know, there's possibility that he will reach out because he does recognize that you were like something good, you know, but I just feel like he's so confirmed in that decision, but there's still there's some connection he's not quite letting go of. So I hope that makes sense. I wouldn't say ego purposes either. I would just say intrigue purposes. Jasmine says, I think when the streams get quiet like this, we should all hop off and hop onto a call so we can hear about you since we have the time. Yeah, I feel like it would be really great to arrange a call at some point. You know, it's something to me. I decided to put it onto the back burner and see how we could grow the community, which I haven't done great at this month, but if we could grow it a little bit, maybe we could get a few more people who are interested in mediumship, a few more people who are open to being on call, and maybe we could like go from there when things grow a little bit more. And that was my kind of idea, because it's just, I don't mind keep pushing for people, but I just feel like it makes me feel a little bit deflated a little bit, because there's me and there's Jasmine, and but then there's me and Jasmine are definitely going to be there, and then there's other people that are like, I will be there if it's like kind of this time, or I will be there if like, you know, and those people, the maybes or the, you know, yes but I can only do this time, they don't match up, none of them match up, so it's very difficult to do it. But we will keep trying. I will try my best. I'm not quite so active in Discord. Maybe I should be a bit more active in there. Esther says, who unzipped my handbag, Maggie or Yvonne? Okay. I'm guessing Maggie come through with that. And then also, do you think that this new person could be Adrian in a new energy, or someone very new? Okay. Someone very new, I feel. John says, would I regret things if I were to go down the path of David? Would I regret things if Caden was to come back? Okay. It actually feels like you might actually be more leaning to David by the time Caden comes back. It feels like you actually might go into this uncertain, unsure, but as it progresses, you get more and more sure and more connected. Eslila says, will Matt come back to a relationship with Miriam? Yes, I guess a yes on that. Jasmine says, so this guy coming is a distraction. The last time frame we got for high level soulmate was February, March. I feel like I should just wait for him and not be open to anybody else then. Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that one. I don't get like a negative energy from that person, but I do feel like maybe it won't resonate, maybe it won't work out. And if you do have other things to focus on at the moment, then yeah, I would say maybe that's a good idea. Miss Venus says, what is this new 1111 portal bringing for me? Okay. So it feels like balancing in some areas of life, and I would probably really kind of leaning to say a balance between work and personal life is coming up there, which seems very nice. It seems like maybe it's linked to that, but it seems like a bit of a reduction of stress energy or tension and things like that as well. So I would say maybe the balancing element of it is very powerful. I also feel like some small positive changes in look as well, you know, like maybe you just find like a few kind of those little small things going more smoothly for us. You know, when we have those days where we're kind of pushing against the tide and everything's going a bit wrong, it feels like some little small things that maybe add up to something good. You're having look energy there as well. So yeah, a bit more like positive look energy. And the smaller things, which, you know, we don't always focus on when we're manifesting, but smaller things can be important. So that's nice. But I would mainly say that balance, the opportunity of this balance coming. But don't forget that while the energy is still kind of around and vibrant, manifesting. So you guys, some of you guys had your candles for manifesting. Miss Venus, I did one for you off stream. So yeah, on manifestation candles as well. That's very nice. I'm just going to grab the runes though because I don't want to leave Jan hanging too much here. Okay, so we do have runes as well. If anybody would like a rune, yes. If anybody, knock something over. If anybody would like a rune, to let me know. I just do have to get my thing up here though. Bear with me one moment. It won't be a moment. Yeah, I've got it. Right, so we'll do a room for Jan. If we have some space, we can do a there, I think. We'll do a room for Jan here, and if anybody else wants one, do let me know. Oh, let me focus first on Jan. Okay. So this is the one that's coming up. Let's see it. The Harvest rune. So let me see. Can you see? Oh, bear with me. I've lost the mouse. So I'll just show it first so you can see. There we go. So I have the Harvest rune. So for the Harvest rune we say, make sure you have planted seeds for the things that you want. Even the smallest of actions that vaguely point towards your goals are going to be huge in a year from now. So it's all about, you know, not pressuring yourself, but being clear about what you do want is important for the Harvest rune. But you don't have to pressure yourself. It's like, say your dream's really huge, you want something really big that seems unattainable. Don't worry about it. Don't be like, I have to go and do this huge thing, I have to go and do this and do that. Any small step that even vaguely points towards it, you know, anything at all, is going to be huge in a year from now. So it's all about that growth, planting those seeds to eventually harvest the seeds that you've sown. So it's a nice steady progression, I would say, but just making sure, even on your off days, you know, maybe just doing one little thing that points towards your dreams and desires. Miss Venus, when do you see this freaking energy of blockage and passiveness in my love life dissipating? I'm so tired of waiting. Well, it's interesting because, you know, I do question, you know, if there is a, you know, it does come through that there is some impact or influence by Omar. And I do just wonder if, like, maybe it is because of that. Maybe it is like, you know, this is a really special connection. You know, it's kind of, this is the first lifetime of it. If we're going in linear time, but it's very deep regardless. And I feel like maybe that is a little, you know, kind of bit why it does kind of come through for me. But we can check, like, when does it feel like things might be a bit less stagnant and less blocked. I do feel more the first 2 months of next year, although I do feel like there's some potential in December. I do. Miss Venus, so you said that I would likely meet my new soulmate between December and February. When is it most likely, though, or prominent? Yeah, I would say January and February is more prominent, and December's there, but it's less prominent. Jasmine says, is Devon the high-level soulmate name, or can you try to pick up his name? You just got a letter D at one point in time. Okay. No, I'm not getting, I do get confirmation on the D, I'm not getting an exact name. It can sometimes be you know, getting actual like letters and words and names can be a bit more difficult with the ball, because of how I'm showing things sometimes. But if you want to, do send me a Discord message, and maybe it's something I can look into when I don't want to be sat on stream for like 10 minutes looking at the ball, but 10 minutes is nothing rarely, so I could do that off stream, you know. So do. I know, Jasmine, you don't really like to give me tasks off stream, but it's totally fine. Like, don't feel like you can't. You're very welcome to give me that. And Rain says, should I change my Gmail password for security reasons, or is it not necessary? I get yes changing it, so let's be on the safe side. Miss Venus says, also my energy light body has been super active lately, especially at night. But yesterday it was all day. Trembling and feeling extra energetic. Almost feels like anxiety, except I'm calm in my mind. Why is that, and what was happening? A lot of energy in my crown. I do kind of feel like it's integration of some advancement, some leveling up on the spiritual path. I do feel like you're particularly given upgrades and things like that on the astral level. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing in the physical or nothing in the, you know, DNA, whatever else it might be physically, but I really feel like the astral is very, very active, and you get a lot of upgrades with that. I do feel like that's mainly what it is, like the upgrades in the astral. And it's interesting as well with your crown, because, you know I say this and I don't want to pressure you, but you do get a lot of guidance to channeling, you know, and the crown's very, very important for channeling and can be important for astral as well. So yeah, I do feel like it is like upgrades like that. And it's unfortunate, like, not everybody gets symptoms when they're upgrading or cleansing or releasing or purging or whatever it might be. Not everybody gets things like that. Some people just, oh, I feel a bit tired, you know, or, oh, I had a slight headache, or, you know, something that's mild. So I do feel for you, you know. Rain says card of my choice. Let's do love. I feel like love. Law of attraction. You have been manifesting this relationship. Everything you want will soon be yours. Ooh, okay. Venus. Oh, and how protected is my field and my energy? My friend has told me protect yourself just because I can pick up on the change in frequency in the room. Am I unprotected? Yes. So this is the problem, one of the issues with you, Miss Venus, and with a lot of empathetic and spiritual people, is the expanded aura. So you, like, most people have, like, it's quite a, their aura is a certain distance from their body, which is quite average and quite normal. But with a lot of people who are very empathetic, very spiritual, that aura can really, really expand, and it's too far out, that when you're out, and that's mine used to be like that, but I learned to bring mine in. So when I do spiritual work, I let it go out. I'm like, go out, you know, wherever you want to go, and I'm picking up things spiritually for people. But then when I go out in public, if I'm going, you know, walking down the street and going to the shops or something, I do a meditation first to bring my aura in, make sure I'm not picking up anything from those people. And you are just like that. And I do have the meditation. I will share it. You probably have done it. I'm sure I've shared it with you before, but I do feel like it can be important. So let me just see if I can get it without actually clicking off the stream. I think I can. So this is for bringing in your aura. It does just protect you. It's very, very simple visual meditation. You can do it without the video once you learn it, but it can help. It can help. Ruin for Ocean, of course. Losing my mouse. Come back. So it's the breakthrough rune. Hopefully it's in focus because I can't see myself right now. So it's the last rune in the cycle of transformation. So positive changes in self-improvement and understanding yourself as well. Warrior nature may reveal itself. An event that will change the course of your life path is very near. Trust is needed. So major periods of achievement, improvements and prosperity. Darkness is behind you. There may still be some hard work though. And although you are called to trust and perhaps even take a leap of faith, keep your head straight and don't act recklessly. A gentle leap of faith, we would call it. A gentle leap of faith for rain. So that's quite a nice one. It's quite strong and powerful with all that comes through there. Breakthrough. So we'll do Miss Venus next. Oh wait, sorry. Leela, I'm missing you out there. Jan says, when would David be free to date me? When will he ask me, given at this current pace we are going? Be free? When will he ask at this current pace? Okay. So I feel like it could be anywhere between 1 and 2 months. And a room for Leela first. Oh, nearly fell off the edge there. Okay, I think we have it. There we are. So it is the wholeness rune. So it's the sun's energy. Follow your path with no ulterior motive, only your individual unique desires. What you are striving to become is what you already are. It is within you. Let the sun and spiritual light illuminate your path. You may feel surges of energy. Utilize them in a positive way. If a situation feels off, do not feel guilt about withdrawing. So yeah, sometimes, you know, it's a really nice situation. We're being invited somewhere or it's supposed to be fun. But if it feels like it's going to be off to you, just trust your intuition. I can't get back to stream. Oh no. Just trust your intuition on that. But also, it represents the sun's energy. So it is really, really nice and powerful rune. It looks like lightning, but it's not. It's, it's a ray of sunlight. And then we will do Miss Venus. Miss Venus. I think Miss Venus, you are I think you're like heading out of one chapter into the other, and the reason I'll say that is because when I did the angel cards I was drawn to 2, and then when I did the runes I was drawn to 2. So it feels like maybe you're in, you know how I always talk about chapters being like 3-month periods. It feels like maybe you're at the end of one and coming out to the next one, because I picked 2 runes as well, so that's interesting. So let's see. The first one I was guided to is the warrior rune. So you are a spiritual warrior. Allow the will of the universe to flow through you. Your anxieties will begin to release into true trust. So that's the first one. But then we get this one, which, let me find it. I think it's the partnership rune, but let me, you know me, I never remember the runes properly. So the partnership rune. Very important partnership is coming up for you. It could be business, romantic, or friendship, but keep your sense of individuality. So it's all about, it's like I always say, the cat totem animal, where just because you're in a positive partnership doesn't mean you still have to have that sense of individuality. So maybe it's that hobby that you do just on your own. Maybe it's like going to the gym. Maybe it's a book you read that's just your own, or a show that you binge that's just for yourself. Keeping that individual self as well. Don't amalgamate too much into the relationship, even if it's super lovely. Jan says, oh, sorry, no. Ocean Rain says, is my friend Setsuko soulmate you saw in the love reading a while back in our hometown, her workplace, or neither? Okay. Yeah, I actually get neither with that one. Jasmine says, you also got that I'd meet him in my state, Ohio. Can we narrow down like a city and attraction or venue? I want to know the exact location and what we'll be doing to run into each other. Yes, please put this and the name in the Discord to me. They're just things that take a bit of extra time to focus on. Maya says, why some of friends of my ex got so angry when they see me, we have a good relationship or we have feelings for each other. Okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing that, so during like the breakup, I feel like there was some talk about you and like, you know, painting you in a bad light due to feeling hurt. So now they see you a little bit in a bad light, unfortunately. And Rain says, should I go to the temple where my meditation session is on the 21st or 22nd, or does it not really matter? Okay. So I'm guessing 22nd to come through for that. Miss Venus says, I flow super easily and well yesterday and the day before, when I allowed my energy to merge with my higher self or divine energy to flow through me, it was moving me super seamlessly, effortlessly. And yes, I've seen it. I just keep forgetting to check my aura's expansion level and just feel energy waves in the room. Yeah, so yeah, I would just say it's, you know, I'm not necessarily saying watch the video. If you already know, oh my gosh, I can't speak. If you already know the meditation, that's great. But just try to keep it up. And I would especially say when you're heading out, when you're going somewhere that's going to be very built up, you know, just try to remember it at least then. If you're only going to be like going to one friend's house, you know, it's just you and that friend, maybe you'll be okay. But yeah, especially if you're going to really built up or somewhere that, you know, might be a bit negative, you know. Oh, what are the cards today? Ocean, I'm so sorry. So we have Spirit Animal Chakra, Druid Wisdom, Earth Magic, Sufi Wisdom, Spellcasting, Love, and Seraph Soul Angels, those ones. So yeah, there's a few. Miss Venus says, yesterday I found a $100 bill on the floor on the way back to my apartment, but then I realised it was a fake one, like prop money used for movies. Is there a meaning behind this? Yeah, so it's a symbol of abundance. So it's a really positive thing to do, is to keep, like, I have those little, you know, St. Patrick's Day, like, coins and things like that, and I have a lot of coins and money that I don't use. You know, I have foreign money. If I want to make some money to go on a holiday, I use foreign money in my spell. If I, you know, in my car, in the little compartment, I always have tons of pound coins that I don't touch. I never use them. They're just a symbol of attracting abundance to me. So you're being given this as a symbol to attract abundance to you. Carolyn, a room for Carolyn, of course. So we have the fertility rune for Carolyn. So you may be called to work with the moon. Completion is needed in this chapter. Make sure completing things from the back burner. Make sure you complete things from the back burner. Make that a focus. Completing projects, completing things you know have left to last minute. You should especially not worry about taking risks right now. Doing something that scares you will be good for you. You are a chrysalis and you need to emerge a butterfly, but keep your humour and keep grounded. So when we get that, you know, taking risks is not as bad right now. You have some spiritual protection around you in that sense for like risk taking. But always be a bit careful. Always still do your due diligence, but just know that doing something that's a bit risky will more likely pay off than affect you negatively at this moment. A little bit of a spiritual safety net, which is nice. Miss Venus, what's like some closing during this year 9 to fresh next year on year 1? Okay, so it is quite a lot, because I actually feel like there's multiple cycles closing that let me just get back to streaming here. Oh gosh, I feel like there's multiple cycles closing for all of us, in the sense of like in different areas. So I feel like we have some in love, some in our root physical things, some in our spiritual like life path. I feel like we all have quite a few that are going on there. But let me see, maybe I could see which element, which area of your life path is more prominent right now, which, you know, that's being affected a bit more. So we'll see that. It feels like love path is being affected the most, actually. Rain says, should I go to work with the bus today or ask someone to drive me? Okay. So I'm guessing asking someone to drive you actually come through there. Jan says, is the connection with David potential to be soulmate or soul family? I'm not, I don't want to confirm that I'm not 100% on that. It's not coming through. Rain, I'm very well. I hope you are well. Jasmine, this is a question that has been plaguing my mind, but will the high level soulmate be well endowed? This was what I was used to all these years, so now I'm worried, if you know what I mean. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, I do know what you mean. Definitely something that maybe let's just let them off a little bit more than we should. So yeah, I understand. So let's see. Let me see. Okay. I'm actually guessing a yes on that. Yeah. Don't be shy of these questions. Like, I might word them differently when I'm speaking on YouTube, but don't be shy of questions like that. Jan says, would my dad... Oh, Miss Venus says, nice, yes, please. Jan, sorry. Would my dad like David, and how would he feel about him in comparison to Caden? Yeah, I actually feel like liking him more, actually. Angel card for Rain. So feel green, feeling that love energy. Horizons, Archangel Raphael. So it won't look green to you because there's a green screen filter on this stream. So just imagine it's a nice green. Creation, Archangel Raphael. The magic and healing powers of new beginnings are now on the horizon for you. As in the image, all is not revealed yet. But rest assured, it doesn't make sense to me. Oh, as in the image, this image, all is not revealed yet, but be reassured that this is an exciting time for you. Archangel Raphael is assisting you with this new and beautiful chapter of your life. Relax, be calm, and enjoy as this new chapter of your life unfolds and the mist clears. Okay, it's interesting that it says, as in this image, all is not revealed, and literally all is not revealed because it's not green like it should be. But yes, very nice. Horizons. Jan says, do you see things progressing fast once I'm with David, or will it be steady and then start progressing faster after a little? Me and him both have similar goals and wants. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it feels like slow, but it's like it slowly picks up momentum, you know, it slowly snowballs and gets quicker and quicker. Yes. Carolyn says, does Christopher's daughters dislike me? No, I guess a no on that. Ocean, should I go to the personality colour session today? Guessing a no on that one. Jasmine says, does the high level soulmate have kids? Guessing a no on that one. Ocean may have a chakra card. Mysticism and the third eye. So it's basically just shining a light on your own spiritual abilities, whether you want to just use them in your own life or, you know, for other people. It is saying that you do have spiritual abilities that you can tap into. So you can work on your third eye for that, and maybe your third eye might just need a little bit of work as well as it comes up in the chakra card. Carolyn says, thank you so much for being who you are. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you for being who you are. I appreciate you greatly. I appreciate some things that you've opened my eyes to in messaging as well. I really appreciate you. Ocean says, you look great as always. Thank you so much. I've worn this a few times now, but I do like it. So thank you very much. And should I ask Suju-san to drive me or Mika-san? Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing Suju. I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's what I'm guessing. Ocean says, yeah, exciting. And Jasmine says, way, I try to keep things PG on stream, but I'm highly sexual. Same. I'm highly sacral energy based. So things like that, yeah, important to me. I totally understand. I've had conversations about this with other members of the stream, who I won't name, you know, in case they don't want me to. But I think it's a very, very, you know, it's a highly important part of a relationship. And if you're not compatible in that area, it's a huge impact on the relationship, in my opinion. So yes, I totally agree. Esther says, how will my future partner look like, please? So the main things that are coming through is, I'm getting pretty tall, and I'm getting very dark hair. I'd probably say black hair. It's quite short and like tidy, you know, like styles, but very short, you know, like done well, you know. I don't know how to say it, but very short. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm pretty tall. Like pretty slender build, but not super, you know, not too much. And also I'm seeing like quite a smart dress sense as well. Rain says, spirit animal, yes. So you have the horse spirit. Freedom is yours. So the horse spirit is all about momentum. So the horse spirit is about picking up pace in some area of your life, whether that's all areas or just spiritual path, love path, work path. You can use the horse totem animal, focus on them, meditate on them when you want momentum to come in one area of your life path. So that's really nice. And yay, shout out to Rain for a super sticker. I greatly appreciate that. Jan says, would my dad... Oh yeah, sorry. We did that one. Jasmine says, oh gosh, thank goodness I'm not the only one. Oh no, it's so important. You know, it's so important. And I feel like... it's something as well I feel like we should be able to talk about, you know? It's like, I know, like, I always say, like, I'm really careful on what I say on stream, but, like, it's an important thing, and, you know, I have so many clients open up to me about so many things, because they need to. If they're not honest, then I'm going to be like, what's this energy? I think this is linked to this, and if they say no, you know, it's, so we do have to be very open and very... But yeah, I think sensual energy is important, very, very important for a relationship. Have to resonate with it, has to gel well, and you're not strange or odd or anything for thinking that or for that being important to you. Ocean, is the love I'm manifesting new love? Yes, I get a yes on that. And I'm the horse in Japanese astrology. Oh, I don't think I've looked at Japanese astrology. Eslia says, wow, pretty tall. Yes. And Sufi wisdom. Yes. So we have ending a trauma. Transform memories and symptoms. So ending a trauma, that's very nice. So anything you might be struggling with, you know, having difficulties with, is coming to an end. So that's very nice. Jan, sorry I got super lost in chat due to the rumours. I did not hear my answer. So it was that your father would actually prefer David. It came through. And Esther says, may I have a message from Dad? Okay, so that will be on the channeling stream. So please do let me know that off stream. That message from your father. The channeling streams are very soon. Let me see. Let me get back to my channel. So we have the 15th at 3 PM GMT and we have the 17th at 8 PM GMT. Go to my homepage, check upcoming live streams. They're the channeling ones. So if you want your father, we can do that, but it's going to be on the channeling stream, if that's okay. Thank you, Jan. I greatly appreciate that. Earth magic for Ocean. There we go. So you have Shaman. Ancient healing wisdom. So yeah, it can be connecting with shaman energy, maybe going to, you know, shamanic healings and things like that. But it can also be connecting with your own inner kind of like healer energy. Like, I feel like we all have some level of healing energy that we can tap into, and maybe there's something within you or a guide within you, you know. Yeah, because this is ancient healing wisdom. Ancient healing wisdom. You might be even interested in like, you know, herbal medicine or anything that's like kind of a bit older. Ocean, should I go to a skincare thing on Saturday morning or change the reservation? I guess a yes to going. I do get a yes to going. Yeah, Jan, what I feel with it, with the preference, I feel like it's because there's more attention to you, there's more energy to you, there's more, yeah, like intentions. I feel like it's just, this person seems more serious and real, is what comes across for me. So, so I think I will jump off in a moment, just because it is really quieting down. So if you have any last questions, please do post them. I'll put finishing up here. If you have any last maybe like do one last question each or something, and we can do that there. And then what I will say as well is, like I said, if there's any preferences, so I know I'm just trying to kind of catch up with channelings and crystal balls this month, but if you have any preferences, maybe if you're a heart chakra member and you have a day or time preference for crystal ball, please let me know. If there's something like flower reading or bone reading that you want as an only members, please also let me know. And if anybody is interested in a love spell, please let me know as well. So, no, Rain, it's totally, you came in late, so it's totally fine. You know, I understand that you will want, you know, a bit more. So we have clarity for Rain, so that is the spellcasting. We get clarity. So that's really interesting as well. It resonates a little bit with the third eye chakra one, because when we we're balancing in the third eye and the crown, we do tend to get more clarity. There might be a situation where suddenly more clarity comes to you, but maybe you do work on your third eye a little bit and that might help. But yes, getting clarity, it can be general, like, oh, I have more clarity in life, I know what I want. It can be clarity in a situation, so something might come to light. Any last questions? Any last questions, guys? Okay, so what I will say then, please do message me if you do have any preferences for streams or suggestions for streams or preferences on times for streams. Please do let me know. I'm always trying to fit everyone in, but you all have different time zones. It can be difficult for me to remember. Jasmine, who is the guy, Julian, that my mother dreamed about a long time ago? Is he like a soulmate or something? Is he still an option to be with her? Also, did she meet him in person in a store when she was with her ex? Yeah, so I'm guessing that she did meet him and that he is a soul family member. John sees after Caden's hermit phase, after pushing him off the path, will he come around to deciding he wants to go back? I just can't see that right now. It's too, he's too distant and he's too on a different path to see that. He would have to swing around a little bit more to this path to see that. But you're very welcome, of course. And Jan, it's lovely to see you. It feels like it's been forever. Druid Wisdom, of course. There you are. So you have... Actually, I don't know what that word says. Sununos, lead the way. Rejoice and run to where the old gods dwell, to the edge of Wales, if it makes you happy and well. Carry green garnet for prosperity and gratitude. Garnet is great for prosperity. I think it's a bit expensive though. And make an offering to the green man, the pagan god of nature and the cycle of life. Very nice. So yes, I think we are winding down. Love, light and blessings to each of you, whether you have jumped off or not. Everyone who came, I really appreciate you guys. And we're all going to get back to longer streams like this, and all at varying times as well. So don't worry if you came in late or you had to go early or something like that. Yeah, so varying times, longer streams. Definitely we're going to do it, catching up on channeling and all of that. So love, light and blessings to each of you. I'm always here if you need to message. If I take a while to reply, just know that I'm busy and not ignoring you. That's all I will say. And you're very, very welcome. Love, light and blessings to each of you.